Hey guys, it's Rich. By now you've heard about the infamous viral video of a young smart aleck atheist who, instead of debating Christianity versus atheism, set out to do a gotcha on Jordan Peterson, the Jordan Peterson. Now, if you haven't seen it, here it is. Give it a watch.
Hey, Dr. Peterson.
How are you doing?
Danny, nice to meet you.
What's your name?
Danny.
Danny.
You say atheists worship things or people or places, whatever. Can you be very clear about your definition of worship again?
Attend to, prioritize, and sacrifice for.
Okay, that's it. That's your understanding of worship.
Well, I could flesh it out, but that'll do for the time we have.
All right, so I want you to pay attention to this part right here. This is where the young cultural Marxist, atheist, he sets up Peterson from the beginning, and I am shocked that Jordan Peterson didn't pick up on this. What he did was he boxed him into a definition. This is what they do. They go, give me your, in other words, they're saying in the beginning of the debate that, okay, you and I are going to set up the ground rules here, right? But what he's really doing is he's setting the ground rules and Peterson has nothing to do with it. So what he's saying is, look, here's your definition. You just said that, right? So now that anything he says outside of that specific definition from now on, according to this guy, means he lost the debate. This is what Marxists do. All right, now I'll shut up.
Okay. Do Catholics attend to Mary?
Yes.
Okay. So do they fit that description of worship?
Yes.
So you would say Catholics and other people that revere Mary, like the Eastern Orthodox tradition, worship Mary.
Well, they might not put her in the highest
But
place.
you would put it that way.
No.
You just said it. Now you're taking it back.
There's
now?
still a hierarchy.
See what he's doing?
There's a hierarchy, but within the
There's something at the top.
All right, you can worship things
Mary
below.
is quite a ways up the hierarchy, but not at the top.
Let's go over your definition of worship again. What's your definition?
See what he's doing? He is setting the definition to make it definite that if you add anything, oh, you're just wrong. You were wrong in the beginning. That's what he's doing. And it has nothing to do with the debate between Christianity and atheism.
Definition of worship.
Attend to.
Attend to.
Prioritize.
Do
And
Catholics
sacrifice for.
He's so intent on doing a gotcha, he can't even let Peterson answer his full question.
Do Catholics attend to? Do they prioritize Mary over all other human beings?
No, I didn't say overall, did I? I didn't add that to my definition.
You understand?
I said there was a hierarchy as well.
You attend to
So you can attend to something trivially, or you can attend to it deeply.
Okay, now you're adding stuff to the definition, but
See what he said? Now you're adding stuff to the definition. You know, I haven't seen anybody else do this kind of analysis.
Original definition.
I added the hierarchy part at the beginning.
Yeah. So in other words, if you add something to the definition that you gave on the fly, right, in the running, right? And he said in the beginning, if you remember, Peterson said, well, we could flesh it out even more, but for the purpose of this discussion and the time we have, that'll do, right? So what they do is they say, okay, so you just added to the definition, so you're wrong. Well, you're not wrong. You're allowed to add anything you want to a definition.
You just didn't understand it.
Are you familiar with the Immaculate Conception?
Why is that relevant?
Because you go to a Catholic church, don't you?
See that? So are you familiar with the Immaculate Conception? Why is that relevant? Well, because you go to a Catholic church. Well, what does that have to do with this debate?
You've attended recently. You're interested in Catholicism, aren't you?
Sure.
All right. Are you familiar with their doctrines?
Somewhat.
Okay, you're
Their
familiar.
doctrines are very
how do they
deep.
regard Mary?
Why are you asking me that?
Because you're a Christian.
Did you see that psycho look on his face? You're a Christian. In other words, yeah, say yeah. I want you to say yeah. Oh my goodness.
You say that. I haven't claimed that.
Oh, what is this? Is this Christians versus atheists?
See, now he's insulting.
I don't know.
You don't know where you are right now.
Don't be a smartass.
Well,
and I mean
either you're a
'cause I
Christian
won't
or you're
talk
not.
to you if you're a smartass.
Oh, either you're a Christian or you're not. Which one is it?
I could be either of them, but I don't have to tell you.
You don't have to tell me. I was under the impression
private.
I was invited to talk to a Christian. Am I not talking to a Christian?
No, you were invited to.
I think everyone should look at the title of the YouTube channel. You're
He's
probably in
being
the wrong
real-
YouTube video.
You're really quite something, you are.
Aren't I? But you're really quite nothing. Right? You're not a Christian.
Okay, I'm done with him.
And there it goes. So you just watched Jordan Peterson get verbally ambushed by a smug young atheist. And if you're like me, you're still trying to figure out how Peterson didn't see that coming. But what we're going to expose is that this wasn't just a debate, guys. It was a tactical takedown, and the goal wasn't dialogue on the part of the smart aleck atheist. It was scoring a gotcha on the Jordan Peterson. So in this video, we're going to break down exactly how that atheist manipulated the rules of engagement, boxed Peterson into his own words, and exposed the deeper philosophical rot underneath these debates. This one's not just about Jordan Peterson, guys. It's about the war on Christian civilization. Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Look, if you haven't already and you like our videos, why don't you become a subscriber to the channel? Hit the notification bell, smack the like button, because it helps us get our message out to more people. Also, if it's 6 o'clock Eastern on a Friday, we're doing a live stream. So we're doing one tonight. That's where we read interesting news stories of the week. We tweak them with a bit of humor, a dash of sarcasm, a whole lot of conservative common sense. Join us. You'll have a lot of fun in the chat. All right, so now, if you thought this was going to be just another theological back and forth, think again. What happened at that Jubilee debate wasn't a fair fight. It was a setup. Jordan Peterson was labeled the Christian representative in a room of 20 atheists. The original video title even said that, Christian versus 20 atheists. But they changed that, didn't they? They changed it to Jordan Peterson versus 20 atheists. They had to, because as the debate unfolded among all the other people, it became painfully obvious that Peterson wasn't standing for Christianity. He was standing alone. But here's where it got brutal. The young atheist used a move straight out of the cultural Marxist playbook. First, he took control of the structure. He got Peterson to list his definition of worship. He listed 3 things. Then, like a predator tightening the noose, this guy used the exact definition to trap Peterson. Anything that was said afterwards, sorry, doesn't count. Not part of your original answer. Classic. And here's the twist. Remarkably, Peterson walked straight into it. This is exactly how modern secularists win. They don't argue fairly. They engineer rhetorical traps and call it logic. They use your own words against you, clip context, and act like they've made some grand point. It's intellectual gaslighting wrapped in a faux curiosity. But the crowd loves it. But the most stunning part, Peterson didn't even fight back. He could have said, I'm not going to let you weaponize a quick definition I gave in passing to disqualify everything else I say. But he didn't. Instead, he floundered, and the internet wolves have pounced ever since. But it gets worse. The reality is Peterson didn't just stumble on strategy. He stumbled on substance. One commentator nailed it, saying Jordan Peterson may have stood in the room as Christianity's representative, but he left biblical orthodoxy at the door. Now, that's not just a mic drop, guys. That's a truth bomb. Peterson's God is a metaphor. His scripture, psychological advice. His worldview is self-help. That's not Christianity. That's a Jungian therapy with a crucifix. And so, when he was asked directly, are you a Christian, yes or no? He couldn't give a straight answer. I've watched Jordan Peterson debate many times. It was enjoyable. Watched him many times, and this was not the Jordan Peterson I've come to know. I believe that the young atheist's aggressive and very insulting nature with how he spoke to Peterson threw the psychologist for a loop. I really do. And he didn't recover, so he ended the conversation when the kid said that he was nothing. The kid was very insulting. But imagine if he had given the right answer. Imagine if he said, of course I'm a Christian. And not only that, so are you. Now that would have changed everything. The entire dynamic would have been inverted. It would have flipped it on its head. Because here's the thing. Even the most militant atheists in that room are standing on Christian soil. Yeah, they are. Our ethics, our rights, our concept of justice, all built on a biblical foundation. Throughout history and into the modern age, Christianity gave us a lot of things like science and technology, medicine, the arts, architecture, politics, literature, music, philosophy, philanthropy, ethics, humanism, theater, business, a lot of things. Christian influence is as diverse as it is enduring. So much so that many atheists don't even realize that while they are enjoying the fruits of Christianity, it makes them cultural Christians in a sense. They use the moral tools of Christianity to argue against it. It's like cursing at the architect while living comfortably in the house that he built. There are a lot of atheists who enjoy the Christmas holiday season. They enjoy the fact that the concept of a jury system comes from the Bible. They like that reason, civility, and university education were all afforded to them by Christianity, and it's placed at their feet for their choosing. We've heard of cultural Marxism, and now you know about cultural Christianity. Christianity shaped Western society, which civilized men, protected women, and generated ways to raise children. So maybe the problem isn't whether Peterson is Christian enough. Maybe the problem is we've all forgotten that our civilization rests entirely on a sacred backbone. And when that breaks, the entire society collapses. And that's what these Marxists want. And so what happened in that room? That wasn't 20 atheists debating a Christian. That was 20 atheists ganging up on someone who forgot which side he was on or claimed to be on. So the next time someone demands, are you a Christian, yes or no? Just say yes and mean it. Because the world doesn't need more nuance. It needs courage. And if you're up for it, point out that they live in and benefit from the very Christianity that they fight to destroy. All right, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.
I'm gonna dance by myself like nobody's watching. Don't really care if my rhythm's off, 'cause I'm gonna dance like nobody's watching me. I'm gonna dance by myself like nobody's